Hello everyone, today we'll be standardizing store-bought acids. We will confirm the listed percentages on the bottles. I must know the precise molarity of these acids for making various compounds that are needed for the Zinc Plating Masterclass series. We will experimentally determine the concentration of these acids by titrating them against a sodium hydroxide solution with phenolphthalein as the indicator. I prepared the sodium hydroxide solution and the phenolphthalein indicator in previous videos. Check them out if you are interested. It is worth mentioning that we will be dealing with highly concentrated acids that have a destructive potential. Respect the chemicals and don't underestimate them. Think through what you're doing and how. Wear gloves, goggles, and you should be okay. Here is everything that we will be using. If you'd like to follow along, there's a detailed lab procedure and record sheet in the description. Let's get started. Before titration, we first prepare approximately 0.1 molar solutions of each acid. The concentrated acids are far too strong to titrate directly, so they must be diluted. I begin by rinsing all glassware with deionized water. First, the hydrochloric acid solution. Using a 10 ml graduated cylinder and a disposable pipette, I measure 10 ml of concentrated HCl. The acid is transferred to a 1 liter volumetric flask. The flask is then filled to the calibration mark with deionized water. And inverted several times to mix. The prepared solution is transferred to a labeled HDPE bottle for storage. Next, the sulfuric acid solution. Because dissolving concentrated sulfuric acid in water is highly exothermic, it is a better idea to add acid to water rather than water to acid. I half fill a 250 ml volumetric flask with deionized water. Using a volumetric pipette, I add exactly 1.39 milliliters of concentrated sulfuric acid. The flask is then filled to the mark and inverted several times to mix. This solution is also transferred to a labeled plastic bottle. Finally, the nitric acid solution. A 250 ml volumetric flask is half filled with deionized water. Using a volumetric pipette, I add exactly 1.56 milliliters of concentrated nitric acid. The flask is filled to the mark, and mixed thoroughly. This solution is transferred to a labeled plastic bottle. Now we proceed to the titration. The bread is rinsed with deionized water. We are going to first titrate the HCl, then H₂SO₄, and finally HNO₃. A 250 ml Erlenmeyer flask is rinsed and filled with 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide standard solution. Then the burette is rinsed with the standard solution. The burette is then filled way past the 0 milliliter mark with the standard solution. We need to shoot the air out of the tip of the burette. As you can see, the entire tip is full of air. I fully open the stopcock to force the air out, but as you can see, some remains. I open the stopcock again, and that does the trick. It may take few tries to fully remove the air, but it's very important that you check this. I check to make sure that the burette is still full past the 0 milliliter mark. There are still bubbles in the graduated portion of the burette, so I let it rest. This allows the bubbles to rise out of the solution. Using a 50 milliliter graduated cylinder and a disposable pipette, 20 milliliters of approximately 0.1 molar HCl solution is aliquoted. That is transferred to a 250 ml Erlenmeyer flask. And diluted up to about 100 milliliters. One drop of phenolphthalein indicator is added and the flask is capped and swirled. Now that the bubbles have risen, the burette is drained to the 0 milliliter mark. I start the titration quickly by fully opening the stopcock. We can see faint pink develop locally, but quickly dissipate. I proceed quickly to about the 15 milliliter mark, then slow down a little. As the color becomes persistent, I proceed at a drop-wise rate. It is important to constantly swirl the flask. The endpoint is reached when one final drop causes the faint pink color to be permanent. The final burette reading is recorded. This titration is repeated 2 more times so the results can be averaged. The sulfuric acid titration follows the same procedure. However, sulfuric acid is diproctic. It donates 2 protons, so it will consume roughly twice as much base. Because of this, the expected endpoint is around 40 milliliters of titrant. I titrate quickly up to about 35 milliliters, then slow down near the endpoint. Again, 3 trials are performed and recorded. Lastly, the nitric acid solution. It behaves similar to the hydrochloric acid. It is monoproptic, so the expected endpoint is around 20 milliliters. The titration begins quickly, slows near 15 milliliters, and proceeds drop-wise until the pink color remains. Three trials are completed. Now that we've gathered all the data from the lab, we can proceed to calculate the actual concentration of the acids. The calculations are detailed in the procedure. Every step here is laid out. You can feel free to follow the details there. I'm going to show you the results of the calculations. So first, with the hydrochloric acid, we averaged the titrant volume delivered here, which is 19.67. From that, we calculated the working solution's molarity. This is the approximately 0.1 molar solution that we prepared. And then from that, we calculated the stock acid molarity, and then we converted the stock acid molarity to percentage. As you can see, it is very close to the listed percentage. I'm not sure who has a mistake here. Did I make a mistake during the lab, or is it actually slightly less concentrated than listed? With it being this close, it could be either way. Next is the sulfuric acid. Again, we averaged the titrant volume delivered. Take note that it is much more than the other ones because this is a dioptic acid, meaning there's 2 hydrogen atoms versus 1, so N equals 2. And as you can see from that, we calculated the working solution molarity again. And from that, we calculated the stock acid molarity, and we converted that to percent concentration. Now, this is significantly different than the listed. The listed is 96%. We calculated it to be 93. I'm not sure exactly why that is. However, for our purposes, it is close enough. So I'm not concerned. And if we need to, we can dig deeper and see if corrections actually needed. Next up is nitric acid. Again, we averaged the titrant volume delivered. We calculated the working solution molarity, and then we calculated the stock acid molarity from that, and then we converted the stock acid molarity to stock acid concentration. We got 71.95, and the listed is 70. So again, we're very close. I don't know which is more accurate, to be honest. For our purposes, this is good enough. Most of the time, we'll be using the molarities in the labs, not the concentration. The molarity is easier to work with. We have successfully determined the concentration of the acids. Now we can be confident while using them. I look forward to your comments, and thank you very much for watching.